Moving pages between physical memory and secondary storage raises some obvious questions. When should pages be swapped out of physical memory and onto disk? And also, which particular pages should be swapped out? The first part is easier. Periodically, when the amount of occupied memory reaches a particular threshold, the operating system will run some page-out daemon that will look for pages that can be freed. So something that would make sense as an answer to this question would be that the pages should be swapped out when the memory usage in the system reaches some level, some high water mark, and that this paging out should be performed also when the CPU usage is below a certain threshold, so as not to disrupt the execution of some applications too much. To answer the second question, one obvious answer would be that the pages that will not be used in the future are the ones that should be swapped out. The problem is, how do we know which pages will versus won't be used in the future? To make some predictions regarding the page usage, operating systems use some historic information. For instance, one common set of algorithms is to look at how recently or how frequently has a page been used and use that to inform a prediction regarding the page's future use. The intuition here is that a page that has been used most recently is more likely to be needed in the immediate future, whereas a page that hasn't been accessed in a very long time is less likely to be needed. This policy is referred to as the LRU policy, least recently used, and it uses the access bit that's available on modern hardware to keep track of the information whether or not the page is referenced or not. Other useful candidates for pages that should be freed up from physical memory are the pages that don't need to be written out to disk, to secondary storage. And that is because the process of writing pages out to the secondary storage takes some time, consumes cycles, so we'd like to avoid the overhead of the memory management. To assist with making this decision, which pages don't need to be written out, the operating system can rely on the dirty bit that's maintained by the MMU hardware that keeps track of which particular page has been modified. So not just accessed and referenced, however, modified during a particular period of time. In addition, there may be certain pages, particularly certain pages containing important kernel state or used for I/O operations, that should never be swapped out. Then making sure that these pages are not considered by whatever replacement algorithms are executed in the operating system is going to be important. In Linux and most OSs, a number of parameters are available to allow the system administrator to configure the swapping nature of the system. This would include thresholds such as the ones that we mentioned earlier that control when our page is swapped out, but also other parameters such as how many pages should be replaced during a period of time. Also, Linux categorizes the pages into different types, and then that helps narrow down the decision process when it's trying to decide which pages should be replaced. Finally, the default replacement algorithm in Linux is a variation of the LRU policy we described, and it gives a second chance. It basically performs 2 scans of a set of pages before determining which ones are really the ones that should be swapped out and reclaimed. Again, similar types of decisions can be made in other operating systems as well.